Hello BookTube, I'm Jonathan and welcome to Words in Time. Now in today's video, I'm going to be sharing my top 5 sci-fi books that I am most excited to release in 2022. So let's get right into them. Coming out first, we have Upgrade by Blake Crouch. Now, I know the premise for this one involves genome editing in some form, but other than that, I tried to avoid learning too much about what this book is about because based on the books that I've read by Blake Crouch, I think it helps to go in somewhat cold because even the premise in a way can be a bit of a fun surprise. I have read Dark Matter and Recursion and absolutely love both. Slightly preferred Dark Matter, but they're both awesome. And they feature sci-fi concepts that just unravel in mysterious, fast-paced ways. It feels like you're kind of watching a Christopher Nolan movie. If you like his films like Inception or Memento, I think you'll see a bit of a similarity in terms of the tone and pacing and the feel of Blake Crouch's books. So, two of my absolute favorite books that I've read recently in Dark Matter and Recursion. I can't wait to get into Upgrade. This is going to be a day one read for me. I'm going to be getting it July 12th when it comes out, and definitely intrigued to read more by Blake Crouch as well. I definitely want to get around to his Wayward Pines trilogy, which maybe I'll schedule for next year. Let me know if you're interested in joining me for that one. But focusing on 2022, Upgrade. Let me know if you're going to get it. I'm going to be reading it July 12th. Up next, we have Eversion by Alastair Reynolds. Now, I actually might have made a bit of a mistake when I placed my pre-order for this book here in the US, because apparently this book is already out in the UK. Now, I'm trying to convince myself that I can wait until August 2nd and that I like the US cover more anyway, but I'm not sure that's true because that UK cover is pretty awesome. Let me know in the comments which of the two you prefer. But either way, what is Eversion all about? Well, in the 1800s, a ship crashes off the coast of Norway. In the 1900s, a Zeppelin explores an icy canyon in the Antarctic. And in the far future, a spaceship searches for alien artifacts. And all of these missions go horribly wrong. Now, they appear to be linked in some way, but how and why and what can be done to stop these events from repeating themselves? So that sounds like a pretty awesome premise. I'm excited for that. I'm excited for another book by Alastair Reynolds. I've read 2 so far. I liked Chasm City, the Revelation Space prequel, and I absolutely loved House of Suns. It's one of my all-time favorite books. I did actually already go ahead and buy another book from Alastair Reynolds, Pushing Ice, which I'm really excited to read. But with a new release coming out this year, I decided to bump that one to a little bit later in the year and start with Eversion. So let me know whether you're planning on picking this one up, or you've already got it if you got the UK release, and your thoughts on Alastair Reynolds, because I'm pretty excited for Eversion. Our next release is Roadkill by Dennis E. Taylor. This is a standalone, and the one-liner for this one I think is pretty good. A young university dropout runs over an invisible alien, finds a spaceship, and things go to hell. So you're probably familiar with Dennis E. Taylor from his Bobiverse series. This is a standalone, not connected to that, so it's going to be interesting to see what he does outside of the series that he's known for. I haven't continued with the series yet, just because I felt like the first book was a little bit one-toned, and sometimes I feel this way even about things that I like. For example, the animated show Archer. I think it's really, really funny, but the style of dialogue in that show, if I try to binge it, after a couple of episodes, I feel like I need a break. So I think when I'm in the mood for some dorky dad jokes, I'll come back to the Bobiverse series, and especially if I enjoy Roadkill, that'll get me excited to read some more Dennis E. Taylor again. So let me know your thoughts on Bobiverse if you've read it and if you're excited to pick up Roadkill. Up next, we have Children of Memory by Adrian Tchaikovsky. Now, I didn't actually want to look up the premise for this one because this is the 3rd book in a series in which I've only read book 1. Now, I absolutely loved Children of Time, so much so that I didn't think Children of Ruin was going to be able to live up to it. I've heard mostly good things. A lot of people say they enjoyed it, not quite as much as Children of Time, but now that I know that this is a longer series, because to be honest, Children of Time felt like it could be read as a standalone, I think that makes me want to read it even more. If I know it's going to build to something bigger, I feel like I should definitely pick up Children of Ruin in time to be able to read Children of Memory. And when looking up the release date for this one, I did find 2 dates. I found November 22 and January 31. So I'm ahead of the game this time. I'm not going to get tripped up by this UK-US nonsense. I'm prepared. I'll be ready in November. So if you haven't read Children of Time, the premise for the first book in the series is that humans are looking for a new planet to be able to live on, and in doing so, they accidentally increase the intelligence of an alien species of spiders on another planet. And so we follow two storylines: the humans on a spaceship trying to find a new home, a place to survive, and these alien spiders which develop intelligence, develop societies, relationships, technology, religion, and seeing that growth I thought was really, really interesting. And some of the themes that book explores hit me really, really hard emotionally. It's one of my favorite books that I read last year. I highly, highly recommend it, and that's why I'm looking forward to Children of Memory. And just before we get to my final book on the list, I'm going to slip in a bonus pick for you here, and that is a novella, which is Rose House by Arkady Martine. So the premise for this one is an archivist is trying to uncover a mystery in a great architect's building that is inhabited by an intelligent machine and a mysterious corpse. So I'm kind of intrigued by the premise for that one. I don't typically read a lot of novellas or short story collections, but this one kind of grabbed my interest, especially because I'm a fan of Martine's Tchaikovsky duology. So check out my reviews for those. I'll have a video, should you read the Tchaikovsky duology, because I think it'll really appeal to particular types of sci-fi readers. And I definitely quite enjoyed that series, and yeah, this little mysterious novella kind of piqued my interest. So little bonus pick for you there. And finally, we have Ashes of Man by Christopher Ruocchio, the fifth book in the Sun Eater series. So I won't give you too much of the premise for this one. I don't want to spoil anything from the first four books, but the last one was titled Kingdoms of Death. So I think it's safe to say not everything went well, and we will be dealing with the fallout from that one. And I gotta say, guys, emotionally, I need it. I need Ashes of Man. I need to read it now, but I'll have to wait until December, and I can't wait because this is probably my favorite current series. If you aren't reading Sun Eater already, the premise for the first book, just setting up the series in general, is that thousands of years in the future, there is an empire sprawling across the galaxy, and there is the threat of war with an alien species known as the Cielsen. And we also have some interesting people called the Extrasolarians that are living outside of the Empire. And we have this religious institution known as the Chantry, which is kind of demonized and controls technology and has a large influence over the Empire. So there's a lot of different interesting elements at play, and we follow the first-person POV of Adrian. Adrian Marlowe, he is our main character, who is either a hero or a monster, depending on who you ask, because we know that in the future, he goes on to destroy a sun, killing billions. So we have to go on this adventure with him to find out how and why he did that, and make our own decisions on Adrian for ourselves. So highly recommend this series for the prose, the world building, the mind-blowing concepts, and the characters that I've become deeply connected to. And that's why I absolutely do not want to have to wait until December to read Ashes of Man. So let me know the releases that you are most excited for in 2022. Those are my top 5, and if you're looking for more recommendations on what to be looking out for this year, definitely check out Alex from Tall Guy Reads. I'm going to leave the link to his video in the description below. His video is what motivated me to make this one, and there's some cool books to look out for in his video, especially if you're a fan of both sci-fi and fantasy. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and you can find more sci-fi content over here.